Yeah, no, obviously thrilled to be here. Excited to get back to the regionals for the Huskers, and beautiful venue here. A lot of great teams in this regional, and excited to get going.
Questions?
For Josh and Brett, now that you've had a little time to digest Florida, what's the challenge with them tomorrow?
I think we just got to stay in the zone, not put on guys, no free ones, and I think we'll be fine.
Yeah, I think just continuing to do what we've been doing all year, stay on attack and really just attack these hitters and get them on their heels and trust our defense.
Josh, kind of on the opposite side of that, when you guys do have guys on base via hit by pitch or walk, how important is it to capitalize on those?
I mean, it's really important. We have a good collective approach of how to get runners in when they're in scoring position, and I mean that's basically to just be aggressive early in the count and kind of just trust the work we've put in. And I think if we just do that and just be ourselves all weekend, it's going to be a great weekend for us.
For you guys too, how big a deal is it, if at all, to not get onto the actual field until game day warm-ups? Does that make much of a difference?
I would say more so maybe for the hitters. For the pitchers, we're just going to go out there. A mountain's a mountain for most of us. So as for the pitchers, no, we'll be fine without getting on the field.
Yeah, it's always nice to take BP out there the day before, but I think we're gonna take BP out there tomorrow. So I think we're just excited to get out there and see it.
What's the key to keeping the momentum going? You guys are playing every day. You're building up that momentum last week. How do you preserve that, or does it start again? How does that work for you guys to kind of keep your roll going?
I think every day, we just take it one day at a time, and every day is a new challenge, and we wake up with a mindset to go win and to go be ourselves and just kind of attack the day and just keep doing what we're about. And I think that's kind of how you ride the momentum. You don't want to ride the ups and downs of a season, but when things start going good, you kind of just I think you just stick to what you're doing.
Brett, what are the emotions behind getting the ball for game one, making what I would assume is probably the biggest start of your career?
I'd say not making the moment too big. Like, it's just another game. Played baseball my whole life, so it's no different than that, really, if you think of it that way.
Brett, Florida 116 home runs to their team, a lot of power off the bats. Just kind of, how do you kind of maybe ignore the numbers and just kind of keep your mindset of what you've been doing all season?
I think as long as, I think the saying is solo shots won't beat you, so maybe they get one, maybe two, I don't know. But I'm not going to put guys on in front of guys that do that. So, yeah, I think if we just stay in the zone, stay stingy, and switch speeds, I think we'll be fine.
Hey, Josh, what was it like for you kind of turning the page from dogpiling Sunday to looking ahead to the task at hand? How easy was that? When did that kind of process happen for you?
Yeah, I mean the message to the team on for practice on Monday, I guess it was, or Tuesday rather, was what we did this past week doesn't mean anything for what we're about to do. So I think we've kind of turned the page, like you said, and we're just focused on the Gators right now.
I think earlier this week, Coach Bolt said he sends you guys a text, usually every week, just talking about the opportunity. What was that like this week? Did you guys get one?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much the same message, new week, new opportunities. We just got to focus on going 1-0 tomorrow, and then we'll reset from there again.
Brett, the rain, not being able to get actually out in the field. How do you guys keep the team camaraderie up? The hacky sack was pretty impressive. Just how does that kind of keep the mojo going?
Depends on who was
Yeah.
looking at it,
Yeah, no, I mean, we got to stay busy, I guess. The hitters are hitting, so we got to find something to do. So we just, stay loose, have fun, I guess.
Josh, on the scouting front, what have you seen on tape from this Florida staff?
Well, I think we're going to do our scouting meeting, at least from what I'm going to see. We're going to do that right when we get back to the hotel. But I think the message is just kind of be on attack and not be afraid of anyone, and just trust the work that we've done and not worry about them. We'll stay focused on us.
Josh, kind of going off of that question, you guys were playing against your backs against the wall in the Big Ten tournament. How important will it be to win the first game tomorrow?
I mean, it's really important. Gives you the best shot to win, but I guess, anything's possible, and we're just going to take it one day at a time.
Josh, what would you say was the value of last week just in terms of the offense, kind of taking that next step collectively? Did you guys find something you feel like last week that can carry over?
I wouldn't say we necessarily found anything, but I think when, after that nightmare game on Tuesday night, we all just kind of had to hit the reset button, and I think I would say, stick to our approach, and maybe that was being a little bit more aggressive because we kind of got caught on our heels, and as long as we're the aggressor, I think we got a good shot against anyone.
To either one of you guys, any message that some of the guys Kyle Perry's been in 2 regionals, some of the guys who were here in 21, either messages that they've shared or just kind of what that has been in the clubhouse?
I don't think I've heard much about it. Like I said, it's just another game, really, if you look at it that way. It's a game of baseball, no matter what stage it is or place it is. Like, we're just going out there to play our game.
Brett, how are you feeling? I know you got in Sunday. Did that
Yeah, I feel good.
change anything?
No, I feel good. Yep.
Yes. Coach Bolt, from the perspective of last or 2 years regional, what do you think you learned from that experience now that you're in it again now as a head coach?
Well, like these guys have already said it. I mean, it's baseball. I mean, you have to be able to put aside anything that's going on outside the white lines to be at your best. And for us, I think what we've found throughout the course of this year with some of the ups and downs is when we embrace just that part of it, the competition part of it, then we're at our best. And you can't really, you get in the postseason against big name teams, big crowds, you start letting that stuff get to the forefront of your mind, then you're not in a good place. But if you just go out and play the game and compete against the baseball, that's when you're at your best. And that, truthfully, that's what allowed the 21 team to win those 2 games coming back to, through the losers bracket, is because we didn't look at it as a tall task that you had to go win 18 innings or you had to go beat 2 teams. It was just you show up with a job to do and you do it. And that's what these guys were able to do last week after losing that first game, is just the focus, the task at hand is the next pitch of the next game. And it's easy to say that, it's harder to do it. But when you can make it about the ball and about the game, not about the other stuff, you got a real shot, and that's our challenge this week.
Any other questions?
We can talk to coaches, or I didn't know if is this the player session or is this the coaches?
No, it's the whole thing.
Oh, the whole thing. All right, guess it doesn't matter. Yeah, well, I was going to ask, what are some of your favorite Stillwater memories as a player, as an assistant?
Oh man, favorite Stillwater memories. Well, obviously it was a different ballpark long ago when I played. Yeah, they're obviously, the talk about the name recognition, like Oklahoma State, when you go into the Big 12, they were rolling through the Big 8, the Big 12, playing at Bricktown against some of these teams in that tournament was pretty awesome experience. But just being in Stillwater, I may or may not have hit a home run off a left-hander back in the day. I don't know. I potentially remember it, or maybe not. It may have been brought up already when we got up here. But no, it was a lot of good battles. We had. I know we got our butts kicked one year here pretty good. We had some battles back in the day in the Big 12.
From your perspective, how important are free passes this whole week, just with the offensive tendencies of the park?
Well, yeah, you want to limit the free passes the best you can. I mean, that's usually the team that screws up the least is going to have the best chance to win. So it doesn't really matter where you're playing or who you're playing. That's just the case. So then if you can take advantage of it offensively, you got to do that too. I mean, we talk about doing the dirty work. I mean, that's your 3-2 walks. It's your hit by pitch. Those things set up those big opportunities for guys to knock down some big innings. So on the mound, just do what we've been doing. I mean, nothing changes there. Just get ahead, attack, and expand when you get to 2 strikes.
Kind of maybe a two-parter with Brumbaugh. I guess what's his health status at this point, and then what insight has he maybe been able to provide about how the park plays, or any kind of helpful nuggets?
Yeah, I mean, he's been out there and playing. I mean, he obviously had a big stolen base there for us at the end of that game. That, I mean, if you think just not just about the stolen base, but the fact that they were playing no doubles right before that swing, and then when he got to second base, outfielders had to come in, and there's no play to be made in left center gap. Would there have been anyway? I don't know. Gabe hit it pretty good, but that was an awfully big play in the game that he was ready for. So I'm sure he'll be ready to rock. Is he feeling 100%? Probably not. I would say most of these guys probably aren't 100% this time of the year either, but. Talked about the ballpark being offensive. He talked about the grass, how beautiful it is. He wasn't wrong about that one. But yeah, we're, if and when we get to play Oklahoma State, we maybe ask a few more questions.
What have you seen from Liam Peterson, and what can you expect from Florida?
He got a great arm. I mean, top 100 player in the country for a reason. Very easily could have signed a professional contract and not be in college right now. Really good fastball. He's been really, really good here of late, especially the last month of the season. We've got that fine line of being ready to hit, but also swinging at the right pitches is going to be big. And again, just understanding that if we really focus in on what we need to do at the plate, then we don't spend a whole lot of time thinking about the opponent or the other pitcher. It's just more about what we can do.
Coach, this mindset of just another baseball game.
Yeah.
I guess sometimes easier said than done. Is it something that you try to instill in your players? Is it a characteristic you look for when you're bringing guys in to begin with? How does that shape up?
It starts when we first start training in the fall, and it's not just about taking ground balls, bullpens, and taking batting practice. It's the mindset that it takes to win. And we're pretty process driven at Nebraska. Just, we practice with joy and intent so we can play hard, fast, and loose on game day. You put the work in ahead of time, and that way you get to the game, and that's the time that you get to go get rewarded for all the work you put in. So if you have that mindset and you don't make it about the other stuff, then it's fun. Then you get to actually enjoy what you're doing. But if you're not prepared because you haven't stuck to your process leading up to that, then you're swimming, then you're thinking about all the things you can't control, and then you're in trouble. So these guys, this group, the thing that was evident right away from them and their mindset was that they wanted to be in this position. They wanted to be sitting in these chairs right now. They wanted to be having this practice today. They wanted to be able to be part of a group that won and won championships. And so we have one. You get that taste and that feeling. You want more of it. And so that you have to have that collectively in a group. And really what it takes is older guys like these guys that want it, and they pass that down to the younger guys. But it started 10 months ago with this group. It's not something that just manifested last week with a magical run. I mean, these guys have stayed very present all year, and that's allowed us to be a pretty consistent team.
Is there any benefit in the 2:00 game tomorrow, playing the early game in a regional?
Not really. I mean, I hadn't really even thought about it. Is that what time we play? I just get on the bus when they tell me to.
Coach, how do you kind of keep the positive vibes going when practice gets moved inside, field's tarped?
Yeah, you just do whatever. You just show up and you got a job to do, whatever that is. So I know we'd all like to have gone out on the field, but there's been plenty of time. I mean, we hit in the cages all last week. There wasn't a single day that we hit on the field last week. So it's just kind of part of being a baseball player.
And then for Florida, just the bats, the home run numbers, the record may not show how dangerous they can be offensively. Just kind of how are you guys preparing from that from a full game scenario?
We don't really do anything different. I mean, I can tell you completely honestly that Brett Sears is not going to go change his game plan based on who the opponent is. So a lot of respect for Florida. Great program, played for a national championship last year. They're here for a reason. We respect them, but we're not going to change a whole lot based on who the opponent is.
Any other questions? Thank you very much. Appreciate you guys.
Thank you.